50 more random Hot Wheels trivia from wiki fandom. Despite being named as a 1942 Jeep, the CJ2A model wasn't available until late in 1945. CJ standing for Civilian Jeep, also known as 42 Willys MV Jeep. The wings are actually slightly inaccurate compared to the concept art.
Second lap.
Buzz Bomb!
Eliminated.
Oh my god, that scared me.
This is the first Hot Wheels game to have damage. Sadly, some of the cars in the game with their paint jobs were never made into toy and don't match the records. The paint jobs are stated below. The Commando's paint job was red with flames. It partly looks like the one from 1997. The Highway Patrol's paint job was black and white. It has a star in the middle of the car, with a 911 in the trunk's back. Dairy Delivery's paint job matches the first known model of the Dairy Delivery, except without got milk, and the decal green. Enforcer does not match any of the records, but its paint job is American flag. Humorously, it doesn't have its guns, which makes sense because it's a kid's game. Highway Haulers does have a green cab in the records but has flames in the load and a crosshair with 360 on it. Power Pistons' paint job does thankfully match the records, the Techno Bits, but the www.hotwheels.com was not shown. Split an Image 2 paint job might match the records, which is the one from 1994. Toe Jam's paint job does match the records, though there is no Hot Wheels icon, and Toys Turbo Flame's paint job does match the first version, except without the Hot Wheels. Road Rocket's paint job doesn't match any of the records. Regardless of the Speed Blaster being a cutscene-only car, its paint job resembles the Alien Attack playset, which was released in 2001, which was 2 years after when Crash was released in 1999. There are some juicy hidden content in the game. There was an unused skin for the Dairy Delivery/van which was called Vanville in the files. There was also an unused texture called Lamb. Enforcer, Toe Jam and Highway Patrol also appear as NPCs in the game but have different textures. In the game's files, the Hot Wheels cars have different names. Commando was named 4x4. The blue car is named Camaro. Enforcer was called Buggy. Highway Patrol was called Cop Car or simply Cop Car. Turbo Flame was called Flame Car or simply Flame Car. Power Pistons was called Le Mans or simply Lemons. Highway Hauler was called Mack Truck or simply McTruck. Rig Wrecker was called Semi-Tow or simply Semi-Tow. Toe Jam was called Tow Car or simply Tow Car. Split an Image 2 was called Twin Turbo or simply Twin Turbo. Dairy Delivery was called Van. The 4 main cars that Team Hot Wheels drive in the video were released as part of the 2014 basic car release, and the mysterious black car was a 2014 new model release. The video also features 4 mutant machines, another Hot Wheels line released in 2014. The 2015 5-pack versions of the 4 main cars more closely resemble the cars driven in the video, whereas the 2014 and 2015 versions of Rever and Rod are seemingly identical. Even though each of the 4 team vehicles has the round flame symbol used on Treasure Hunt releases, none of them is a treasure hunt. Pre-production artwork by Howard Reese shows its original name to be Grocery Getter, and a design with 2 engines may have been considered. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the whole tour was switched to an online format, where each competitor recorded a video showcasing their vehicle, and the judges would choose a finalist during a live stream. The pandemic also reduced the number of finalists from 18 to 13. All the live streams were made on Facebook. One of the finalists was chosen by the fans via an Instagram poll. The Buzzer toy is a version of the actual casting with modifications to make it look like a mutant machine. Cyborg Crusher is a version of Skull Crusher. Nitro Scorcher is a version of Nitro Door Slammer, and Flex Force is a version of Super Blitzen. Hot Wheels insiders gave out the following information: during production of the 2016 Ecto-1, there were some internal issues with scheduling, deadlines, and manufacturing locations. So the first version of the 2016 Ecto-1 was made for the Toy Box Group, which usually handles action figures, playsets, other non-diecast vehicles, etc. Toy Box Entertainment Group needed to have their Ecto-1 casting released with the rest their line and the movie release. Because of this, development was handled in a different location, and by a different development group, from Hot Wheels. This is the one in the 2-pack. The second version is the Hot Wheels version. This one was handled through Hot Wheels channels and did not have as many issues as the Toy Box version. There are slight differences in the two. The main difference is the roof rack. The Toy Box casting has the roof lights attached to the roof rack. The Hot Wheels version has a smaller roof rack, as the lights are part of the body. There are other small changes, but they are basically the same. Deco is different, and parting is different. Brendan Vedusky actually worked on a real-life Epo hauler where he made the radiator mounting brackets and rear sway bar mounts. This car shares similarity with the semi-fast. Despite being named the 32 Duesenberg SJ, the real car was actually built in 1935. The Duesenberg SJ gurney nutting speedster has the highest chassis number, which means it could be the last Duesenberg Model J ever produced. The 1997 Ford dealership playset shows a plain white Mustang Cobra with corgi wheels, most likely a pre-production car. These games share assets with Hot Wheels, Track Builder. Though this model was initially labeled 48 Ford Super Deluxe for its Karate Kid release, the car used in that film was actually a 1947 Ford Super Deluxe. The car used in the Back to the Future films was a 1946 Ford Super Deluxe. In the game, Whipped Creamer 2 is referred to as Whipped Creamer 2. On the multiplayer screen where a player selects how many players will race, several Hot Wheels castings are shown, but are not playable in the game. These castings include Torque Twister, Diesel Boy, and Drift King. In the DS version, Paradigm Shift, Power Rage, Solar Reflex, Prototype H24, Night Burner, Mega Duty, Nitro Door Slammer, Synchro, Dragontail, Amazoom and Impavito 1 are absent from the DS version. This casting was a first for Hot Wheels, being their first GM Holden car to be made into a casting, followed by the Holden SS Commodore VT in 2000. The Racing Drones vehicles RD-05 and RD-08 can transform into the Slam Ram Hyperpod at will. They are both driven by RDL1. Since RD-04 is also driven by RDL1, it is assumed that RD-04 can also transform. The Drone Sweeper was released as a track accessory in 2005. It can attach to track from a track connector below the sweeping wheel, but can also be maneuvered around without the track as it has moving wheels. In the 2006 toy line there is a category called Droned with cars from other teams but repainted with the colors of the Racing Drones. These cars are the Nitrium, the Flathead Fury, the Ratified and the Baseline. Two vehicles not belonging to this team have the colors of the drones. These are the Whipped Creamer 2, car belonging to the Hyperpod class of the Acceleracers toy line, and the Combat Hauler, a toy vehicle transport truck released in 2011. Other than Spectite being wrongly named High Voltage, a few of the monsters in-game are actually from the Acceleracers series. Magnus Walker and his 71 Porsche 911 also appeared in Need for Speed, 2015. Akira Nakai and his RWB Porsche 930 also appeared in Need for Speed, 2015. The 63 Cadillac Fleetwood and the 1984 Ecto-1 Cadillac DeVille are the only two hearses made by Hot Wheels. The silencers have suits that turn whatever they say into electronic noises, so no one knows what they are talking about. A silencer impersonated Kurt Wilde to grab the Excel Charger in the Metro realm. A silencer impersonated Karma Ice and caused Taro to crash in the Ice realm. Porkchop Spike Jaw Jammer was released as Air 8 despite never getting an Acceleracers release. A car named Thunderblade was released in a McDonald's promotion called Stunt Strikers. This car was confirmed to be a prototype for Acceleracers 5 by various patents filed by Mattel found on the internet. The vehicle is near identical to Rogue Hog except for the absence of a police light bar. The playset is based on the Drone Sweeper, a vehicle from the Hot Wheels Acceleracers movies which sweeps up cars and disassembles them inside. The track set was based off of one of the last scenes of Acceleracers, the ultimate race where Gig blows up the Acceladrome. The track set had a re-release near the end of 2006 which included 4 random Acceleracers cars from different teams instead of just the baseline. Modifiers were originally going to be called Hotbots. Although it has opaque windows, the Fatback's Mustang features a fully detailed interior with 2 seats and steering wheel. Jack Wheeler's grandson, Vert, would subsequently appear in future Hot Wheels multimedia material, such as Highway 35 World Race, the Acceleracers franchise Battle Force 5 and Hot Wheels Infinite Loop video game. On the back of the box, the exclusive Seared Tuner and the T-Bird Stalker, 1997, are seen as well as the mysterious Volcano Blast concept car. The 5-wheel type can be seen in the video despite being discontinued in 2008. Although it has a runtime of 23 minutes, only 7 minutes and 11 seconds relate to the episode. The rest of the runtime is character files. For some odd reason the Mini Cooper in the series doesn't make an appearance in the video for unknown reasons. According to the video's description, they apparently went to an unseen warm garage and drank hot cocoa. Don't ask how that works. Kurt Wilde worked for Jelorum during the events of the World Race and was codenamed Z36. Kurt's car Slingshot was released in a Z36 form and was extremely limited to 1,000 copies. It was incorrectly decorated as it featured a green windshield instead of the correct red windshield. In the comics, Harrison Lau worked for the Clip organization as well. There are numerous differences, compared to the vehicle's diecast and in-game models. Speed Blaster's in-game model uses the 90s logo in the rear, whereas its die-cast model uses the 70s logo inside of a white rectangle. Speed Blaster's windshields in-game are black instead of a shiny silver/pink look. Speed Blaster's chassis and engine have a more metallic look in its game model and vehicle select icon. The glitter on Speed Blaster's die-cast body does not take effect in its in-game model and vehicle select icon. Power Rocket has a slightly more purplish hue in its in-game model and select icon. The in-game model version of Super Modified has its front, rear, and a small part in its cockpit a more reddish color to them than pink. The Tompo is not present on the in-game model of Super Modified. The cockpit is blocked out by Super Modified's black color when viewing the car in the front on its in-game model. The Super Modified spoiler on its in-game model is designed differently. The Super Modified's in-game select icon is a mirrored version of its die-cast and in-game model versions. Salt Flat Racer's chassis and front grille have a more whiter color to them. The select icon of Slant Flat Racer is a mirrored version of its in-game and die-cast versions. The Goodyear text in the sides of the rear of the Solaire CX-4 are not present in its in-game model. The Chevy logo in front of Solaire CX-4 is completely painted blue on its in-game model when compared to the die-cast version. The spoiler of the Solaire CX-4 is slightly taller on its in-game model. Shadowjet's engine, vents, and tailpipes have a more silverish/gray look on its in-game model, rather than a gold-tinted color on its die-cast version. Twin Mill's body has a slightly more golden look in-game. The small white Hot Wheels logo is present on Twin Mill's die-cast version. However, this is not on its in-game model. Twin Mill's select icon uses the Redline 5-spoke wheels. However, it has capped Redline wheels on its die-cast model. The front of Twin Mill in its game model is narrower than its die-cast version. The small Hot Wheels logo is not present on the roof of Toe Jam's game model. Toe Jam's front bumper has been scaled up in size on its game model, blocking the headlights and grille. The Hot Wheels 500 is a bit narrower in game. Way Too Fast does not feature the 90s Hot Wheels logo on in the rear of its die-cast version. This has been added in its game model. Way Too Fast's select icon and game model have a slightly paler look. Way Too Fast's rear bumper is longer on its in-game model. The Radio Flyer wagon is disproportionately bigger on its in-game model. The radio flyer tompo on the side of the radio flyer wagon is not present on its select icon and in-game model. The Hot Wheels logo in the rear of the die-cast version of the radio flyer wagon is a small white version. This has been changed to the 90s flame version of the logo on its game model. The rear spoiler on radio flyer wagon's game model is smaller. The slide-out's front wing is not present on its game model and select icon. Slide-out's cockpit is constantly blocked/invisible on its game model. Slide-out's roof of its body is a tad taller on its game model. The front window is lowered a bit on Slide-out's game model. In the intro sequence where the attic is being shown, a 450-degree right curve is present. But when playing through the actual in-game track, it has been replaced by a jump. The attic track selection image in tournament and free race modes include a pipe jump, whereas in the actual track, is changed to a simple downhill track piece. The secret level was intended to be a snow level, but was never finished and ended up being a space-themed track. Speed Blaster's texture has a smiley face drawn above the wheel textures. And that's where it all ends. That is all the trivia from Hot Wheels Wiki fandom. The next 17 trivia is going to focus on Hot Wheels Accelerators Wiki. I am not going to show all of them. I'm only going to take the interesting one to fill up the empty space. Against spoiler for Hot Wheels World Race and Hot Wheels Accelerators. Vert's eyes were brown in World Race, but light blue in Accelerators. The reason for this change is unknown. Vert's shoes have Vert inscribed on the soles. He's the one of two only Teku members who appear to have a beard. In his case, he has a goatee, similar to Monkey of the Metal Maniacs. During the battle in Hot Wheels City, Jelorum muses, "Let's see how well you drive in half a car." This foreshadows Vert's Aura 2 being sliced in half when he escapes the Storm Realm just as the portal closes. Vert Wheeler, Kurt Wilde and Taro Kitano all have sustained injuries to their legs. Before Vert leaves the driving school, his skateboard appears to have purple wheels. As he skates back home, they are now colored green. While Gig gives Vert's team a check of $5 million, his necklace disappears in one scene, then in the next scene, it reappears. Vert Wheeler won first place in the 2021 Accelerators Wiki character bracket with approximately 91 votes. Taro Kitano got second and Nolo Passaro third. In the Toonami airings, the Hot Wheels logo was removed due to unknown reasons. However, in Speed of Silence and onwards they replace it with RDO9. With all the production photos we can somewhat piece the name evolution of Accelerators, Realm Racers greater than XL Racers greater than Accelerators. The Teku logo is stylized from the Japanese katakana for the loan word Teku, abbreviated from technology, Teku no Roji, Teku no Roji. All Teku cars have jump jets, modified from the Wave Rippers. This is supported by the Jump Jets card art. Judging from the Power Rage concept art, the original name for the Teku might have been Street Kings. The Wheel of Power's realm symbols are different from the ones in World Race. The racing drones completed the Warped, Fog, and Monument realms by the time of ignition. There are 4 realm symbols shown on the Wheel of Power that aren't shown in the movies or card game. It is unknown if they are undiscovered, or have been discovered already, off-screen. According to the show Bible, there was originally going to be a forest realm, but as development of the show progressed it was repurposed into the swamp realm. Note, this is second-hand information so it should not be assumed to be the exact truth. However, the fact that the Forest Inferno hazard card references the forest realm could be further evidence towards it being true. Going by Vert's line in the Ultimate Race, there are some realms I haven't even seen before. It's possible he is referring to the undiscovered realms, or the realms completed before the events of ignition. A 2005 Accelerators poster states the Silencers are from Europe. The Silencers have won the most shown realms: Metro, Ice, Neon Pipeline, Cosmic, and possibly Cliffside Realm. Almost all of the vehicles have been named after some sort of element category, or chemical compound, with the exceptions being octanium, govlite, and exilium. The silencer's architecture and suits bears a strong resemblance to those of 1982's Tron. The fact that Marky mentioned the former spy, Kurt Wilde, foreshadows the ultimate race, where Gig reveals himself to be the spy the whole time. 2/3 of the silencer's cars originally released in Accelerator's toy line have been discontinued by Mattel. Most of them were the ones that never made it into any other media. Kurt is the Teku member that has raced in the most number of realms, a total of 9. The Storm Realm, Swamp Realm, Cavern Realm, Lava Realm, Water Realm, Metro Realm, Cliffside Realm, Junk Realm and Cosmic Realm, and overall human, tying with Taro Kitano. If Kurt has driven through the Ice Realm, which is unconfirmed, then he has a total of 10 realms, making him theoretically the driver with the most number of realms driven. He also has the largest race streak of all human pilots, a total of 7, going from Storm Realm all the way to Cliffside Realm. Kurt is the first human driver to use a hyperpod. Kurt is the only Teku driver to not make use of jump jets on his car. Kurt's eye color, like Vert's, was changed from World Race to Accelerators. An early name for Kurt was Lance, according to a prototype of the GBA World Race video game. Kurt Wilde placed second in the Accelerators wiki character bracket 2022, behind Shirako Takamoto and after Taro Kitano. Shirako even listens to music in his sleep. He, along with Taro Kitano, are the only Japanese racers. Shirako's car, Baseline, is referred to as a stupid stereo on wheels by Porkchop. Baseline's driver's seat is on the right side of the car rather than the left. This is because Japanese cars are manufactured with the driver's seat on the right side of the car. Shirako is the second driver to rebuild his destroyed car, the first is Vert with Power Rage. Shirako Takamoto is also the first driver to not drive a different car despite his car, Baseline, being destroyed and rebuilt. He was named after a Japanese cuisine, fish milt, known as Shirako in Japanese, which is made of fish semen. Shirako's voice actor Kirby Morrow is the first actor in Accelerators to pass away. Shirako Takamoto won first place in the Accelerators wiki character bracket 2022 with approximately 83 votes. Kurt Wilde placed second and Taro Kitano third. Kadeem is the first human driver seen to enter a racing realm. Kadeem finds Monkey's desire for money to be funny. In Highway 35, Kadeem had a shortcut hairstyle and had a darker skin tone. In Accelerators, he has dreads tied into a ponytail and Arabian-like skin color. Kadeem does not wear a helmet in Accelerators. It is unknown why. Kadeem is likely from northern Africa because he mentions driving through a sandstorm in the Sahara to Banji Castillo during the world race. Dr. Tezel has a recording of Kadeem's voice. According to a German catalog from 2006, the drone version of Kadeem is called RDK-1. Mark Wilde entered the fewest realms of any human driver, entering only 5. Despite him driving Chevrolet Corvette Stingray in the movie, the World Race game features him with Golden Arrow, a Hot Wheels car, probably due to licensing issues. He is the first driver in the series who lost every car before Ultimate Race. Coincidentally, his car's situation signifies the situations he's in, respectively. Corvette Stingray was likely impounded. Mark was jailed. Spinebuster was dismantled. Mark was mentally crippled when he lost his beloved car, therefore, he became furious towards everyone. Flathead Fury was abandoned. He was trapped in the junk realm. Series creator Jeff Gomez based the series on a fantasy RPG campaign he created, titled Global Run 2020. Several helmet designs were created for the teams, but were adjusted when Mainframe Entertainment adapted the character designs. Taro entered in the most number of realms out of the Metal Maniacs, for a total of 9 realms: Storm Realm, Swamp Realm, Lava Realm, Water Realm, Metro Realm, Ice Realm, Neon Pipeline Realm, Junk Realm and Cosmic Realm, tying with Kurt Wilde. Taro and Shirako Takamoto are the only 2 characters in Accelerators to be of Japanese background. Taro is the only Metal Maniac not to have any form of facial hair. Monkey and Torque have goatees, Porkchop has a mustache, and wild as sideburns, although he has a slight 5 o'clock shadow. He and Lanny Tam are the only two drivers in the Excel Racers series who drives their licensed car, the 70 Plymouth Roadrunner and 55 Chevy Nomad respectively. According to series creator Jeff Gomez, Taro was named after a karate sensei that trained him in the 70s and 80s. Taro Kitano placed second in the 2021 Acceleracers wiki character bracket, behind Vert Wheeler and after Nolo Passaro. He later placed third in the 2022 bracket. Reverb, or reverberate, is named after the reverb effect, an audio effect applied to a sound signal to simulate reverberation. Another car that also shares this trait is Baseline, with both being cars named after audio terms. Reverb is seen to be based on Honda's 2003 Acura HSC concept, which is also a Hot Wheels die-cast. However, based on the drawing on the cards of the card game, Reverb is more like the Lamborghini Gallardo LP 560-4, 2003-2013. Reverb is the only Teku car that does not feature a rear spoiler. It is also one of the 3 cars in the movies that can go to 300 miles per hour completely on its own, without nitrox 2 and track boosters, the others being Ratified and RDO9. It is one of the only 6 cars, the others being Nitrium, Iridium, Govlight, Anthracite, and the hijacked Sweeper, that escaped the Accelodrome's destruction. It is also the only Accelodrome-built car to survive the Accelodrome's destruction, as Nitrium, Iridium, Govlight, and Anthracite were all Silencers vehicles, and the Sweeper was built by the Racing Drones. It's the only car that has its CDR being used, while staying completely in one piece with the driver. Hypertruck, another Hot Wheels diecast, is based upon Reverb's design. In the Accelodrome tracksets box art, Reverb appears to have 2 sets of taillights instead of 1. A different car also named Reverb appears in Battle Force 5. An early version of Reverb was driven by Mark Weil during a test animation by DQ Entertainment Limited. It can be seen racing against other Reverbs featuring unused color schemes. At 310 miles per hour, it is the fastest car both among the Teku and in the series as a whole, Ratified and RDO9 having top speeds of 300 and 306 respectively. A Reverb diecast was supposed to appear in the 2006 Acceleracers Acceleron series. However, the plans were changed and only a single prototype was made. An alternate concept version of the Acceleron Reverb can be seen in the 2006 German catalog, image below. The only difference are the color swap between orange and purple, and the lack of pink rings on the wheels. It was just a promotional art and never made it to production. This Acceleron variant of Reverb can be found in the Hot Wheels Infinite Loop mobile game. In the World Race comics, Banji won the World Race instead of Vert Wheeler. One Banji was theorized to be a part of the Silencers, due to an action figure prototype shown at the 2005 San Diego Comic-Con. This is confirmed by the series creator, Jeff Gomez. 2. In the Ultimate Race, Lanny Tam mentions other racers who were lost in the realm. Alec Wood and Dan Dresden were mentioned along with Banji. It could also be implied that Alec and Dan also are part of the Silencers. Ironically, even though the team he led should have been experts at driving in swamps and jungles, it can be assumed that Banji somehow failed to complete the swamp realm. According to series creator Jeff Gomez, Gel Oram was named after the surname of a girl he had a crush on in high school. 2. If Gel Oram would have made it to the sphere without Vert, the Acceleron would still punish her, as the test for the Ultimate Race is the driver's own skills, not the Accelechargers. However, the audience can have every right to question the Accelerons. The purpose of the drones is to win the race, so in order to win, they need to find the most efficient solution, using the Accelechargers. So it can be justified that Gel Oram, and every other drone, can only do what she was programmed to do, win the race, not mastering the skills needed, and is still punished for it. According to series creator Jeff Gomez, the car was built for Major Wheeler, but Dr. Peter Tesla switched the designation to Vert at the last minute. The Diora 2 is one of several Hot Wheels cars that have had real-world replicas made of them, with the Diora 2 replicated in 2003 as promotion for the then 35th anniversary of Hot Wheels and conversely to advertise the Hot Wheels World Race movie. In 2023, it was given the Teku decal wrapping to promote a line of accelerators-themed NFTs. Nolo drove the most amount of vehicles, tying with Porkchop, with a total of 4. Nolo placed third in the Accelerators wiki character bracket, behind Vert Wheeler and Taro Kitano. Synchro's number is 7 in the series, but it's numbered 1 in the die-cast version. This discrepancy is shared with Power Rage. The original die-cast car has orange paint scheme instead of gold like in the movies. The spoiler on the die-cast model is black, but there are also variations that have orange spoiler. Synchro is the only Accelerators car in Hot Wheels Infinite Loop to not have an Accelerators specific skin.